Have you ever seen the show Impractical Jokers?
No.
They do these things where they put in a microphone and then they send them into a shop or something, and they feed them stuff. Like basically, they can see what's going on. But you've got a thing in your ear, and so you go in.
You have to say things.
And so they feed them stuff to say.
I've come across this.
And it can be really bad sometimes.
Jack Whitehall did this with his new film Jungle Cruise as a sort of promotion, and it was very funny. He did it with The Rock.
Oh, Dwayne.
It's a great film. It's a great film.
What film was it again? Sorry.
It's called Jungle Cruise. It's a
Jungle Cruise.
Popcorn film. It's worth seeing. We had a very pleasant evening or afternoon looking at it. Afternoon watching films is very good for me. But evening watching films, I just go to sleep.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're young.
I could fall asleep driving, watching a film, standing up.
to sleep in my own lecture. But then I'm crashingly dull.
Yeah, the worst story for that is I fell asleep in a geography lesson. Shout out, Mr. Grocott. It was not your teaching.
It was subject. It's like biology. It's just not real.
I woke up to this terrible fright. Everyone was laughing at me and pointing at me, and I was like, "Oh no, why? What's going on?" I had no clue that I had farted very, very loudly while asleep. And everyone was laughing at me. And I was in year 9, distraught.
I'm so sorry.
And it was incredibly embarrassing.
It might have been a comment on the lesson, but I mean,
And then the teacher was like, if we're going to stop every time there is an incident of natural gases, then we're not going to get very much learned. And
I had a fellow years and years ago when I was teaching in a school. I can't remember where it was, in London somewhere, and a boy fell sound asleep, and we all left the classroom and left him asleep. And I told the next teacher who was going into the classroom that there was a boy asleep, and I think he slept all the way through that lesson too. So he woke up in the third lesson, surrounded by little third formers, thinking, "Oh, what's going on now?"
Yeah, that's not what you need to wake up to.
He never slept in my lesson again, but I was so near. I was so near sleep so often.
Yeah, no, I am. My danger's in the car. I'll be like driving along, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
and
well,
now I have to have 2 Red Bulls.
But I don't
in the
drive.
car.
I just do the passenger seat, and my
you do the important
really
job.
No, my partner gets really annoyed if I go to sleep.
Well, I mean, if it's a long journey and you've just got the sounds of the radio and the sounds of
I feel I should be. And I do make noises, I believe.
Oi, oi.
Not always from the front, and it's
disturbing.
No, I'm not aware of this. I'm not aware of this, and the point is, I feel I should be in our alliance. I should try and keep awake, but sometimes it's difficult. It's difficult with the road just going on forever, and you're thinking
so calming and just relaxing. And the next thing you know, my mate's like, "Woody," and I'm like, "Oh, okay," and then he's like. So I've got to have 2 Red Bulls or other caffeinated beverages in my car at all times. Otherwise, I just don't drive anywhere. Because, I fell asleep in my dad's gig standing up.
Yes, I can understand that.
So I was like, how? And I'm just like the soothing... Nothing but the soothing...
Weren't you doing all this stuff?
I was sort of doing like...
Put in the gestures. Oh, gosh. But it was late, wasn't it?
No, wasn't that late. I was just tired. And it was soothing. It was like a lullaby. Just a...
Yeah, well, it's a rhythm. It's a rhythm.
And
I realise.
Everyone was like...
I know.
Oh, how sweet.
Well,
slap me.
This is why I don't...
Oh, right, okay,
This is why I don't have a comb. I get it all done for me. Yeah, I know.
Oh, what a beautiful... Got your nose. Oh, what a beautiful cat. A beautiful beard.
He is lovely.
He looks like he wants to climb inside your little waistcoat.
Well, no, he doesn't. His sister used to. Oh. His sister was... When I got his sister, she's older. Not by that much, so he's really quite an ancient cat now as well. But his sister we got her, and she was sold to me by a rather dodgy breeder. I wanted a dog and I wanted a cat. And my partner always wanted a little yellow dog. So as I went to get the little yellow dog, he peed all down my leg, and I thought, yeah, that one's for me. and still smelling slightly high, I went to the cat lady, and I bought this little, very, very tiny little cat.
No.
Got her home, and the following day took her to the vet. I don't know, did she go up the curtains that night? I think she went up the curtains the first night, and she just raced up the curtains and then sat at the top looking back saying, look at me, and it was just charming. And I thought, yeah, we are yours, we are your parents, and she was so excited, and she'd come back down and then come over to us and then go back up again.
Aww.
And she was very good at fetching. So we could throw paper at her and she'd bring it back.
Oh, that's
and all of this in the first day.
like a cat and a dog.
Yeah, and I thought, that's great, but you're soon going to be eclipsed by the little yellow dog, which my partner didn't know about, and that was going to be the great surprise. And then we took her to the vet, and she had ringworm, and the vet said, you can't have any other pets, and also do be careful because you probably got it too. It's very infectious. So, oh my God, that's all I want. And this is about 20 years ago, and so she got shaved completely. She looked like Stimpy.
Or that bit in Monsters Inc. where
Monsters Inc. Oh God!
So there's a bit where he touches a sock and they're like, "You touched something from the people world," and then they come and they like put a cone around his neck and they shave him and everything. He's standing there like, ah!
Yeah. No, well, that's what she looked like, and she looked so sad and embarrassed. And I was embarrassed for her, so I put her in my dressing gown pocket. You've seen my dressing gown, and she lived there.
Oh, like a little kangaroo in a pouch.
No, this is the point. She made her way up from the dressing gown pocket while I was sitting at my computer animating. She made her way up into the cardigan, and that's where she sort of nestled, and I could feel her purring there, like a little roo. And every so often she'd stick her head out between the buttons in the cardigan or the waistcoat. She went through so much of my wardrobe. I mean, and later on when she got older, she went through the sofas. She was terribly good at knitting in her own creative
Reverse
way.
knitting,
and you'd hear her sort of and feathers going everywhere. I mean, she was quite violent. Whereas the boy Bay just goes for the wood. He's sort of woody, really. And so upstairs by our bedroom we have a hole. It's like it's like a scene from one of those prisoner of war camp.
Or The Great Escape.
Yeah, The Great Escape. And this is Woody, and so and this is Bay. And so in the middle of the night, he pops down from the bed, and you hear on the landing, and he's making his hole a little bit bigger. Now,
oi.
Oh, you stop it. Anyway, so Hannah lived in my cardigan, and that was her favourite place. So even as she got older, and I got Bay, who she didn't like. She sat in the wardrobe one day when I got Bay, and she looked at me because she was very good at looking, and she was very close. We were very close. We had this sort of interspecial bond. And I felt I knew what she was thinking, and I hope she felt she knew what I was thinking. And sometimes it wasn't quite true, but and she'd look at me, and on this occasion she looked at me deep, and we were very close. And she thrashed me for buying another cat. And I thought, okay, I know my position. And I wanted to giggle, and I realised I mustn't giggle because I must take this seriously. I must be punished. But she and Bay ran our house. They kept guard. They were sitting at the window. Bay sits in the garden and controls the garden. And now Hannam's gone. He doesn't because he's not. There's no reason.
Oh, I mean,
so it's sort of.
I lost my cat this year, Monkey.
I know you did. I know.
So we had two wonderful cats. Wilbur's still lovely and around. Sadly, he was not even. Yeah, he wasn't even 3. It was really sad. But basically, we bought them and we met their mum, and it was the most it's weird to see a cat with so much personality. And the mum would be like, we're playing with the kittens, and mum would say, "Hey, I exist. Come over," and be like, "Yeah, stroke me." Okay, that's enough, and then leave. But then sometimes her kittens would be being so weird or annoying. She'd just pick them up and take them somewhere else. It's sort of like, oh, you need to calm down,
But they have personality.
And,
this
they
is
really
the point.
do.
They really do.
And so we had Monkey, he was a crazy monkey. We called him Monkey because he'd climb up paintings, curtains, trees, Like, we used to live by a graveyard for a bit, and we'd be like, where is he? And I'd go to the graveyard, and I'd see him running behind gravestones, hiding behind it, poking his head out, and then running off. And he would, every time someone came and sat on a bench, he'd come and sit with them, and like hang out with all the people in the graveyard. Or I think he was jamming with the ghosts and that. And but it was this moment where he'd run off, hide behind a tree, then run between my legs and run off. He thought he was a dog. And then sometimes you'd hear, meow, you'd look up, and he's obnoxiously high in a tree, like 7 meters up. And you're like, how on earth did you get up there? You never see him going up. You'd see him at the bottom and then at the top. And you're like, what? And then he's like, meow.
Well, Hannah got out of the house once, and she went to the pub. And I was panicking. I said, where is she? And then we got this phone call from the pub next door. We lived in a very, very picturesque. Well, I want to call it a village, but it insists on calling itself a town in the Cotswolds. And we had no house numbers. They're all named. All the houses had names. It was simply charming. Anyway, the pub called, and they said, "We've got your cat here." So I went over. She wasn't sort of decorously in a corner or sitting on a seat. She was sprawled across the bar, like Mae West. She just absolutely. She was in her element. I thought, you're never going out again.
She'd probably had one too many. She was like staggering about,
She had, yes.
And so I've still got Wilbur and my other cat Toasty. Toasty's
Which one
a bit
have you
older.
met?
You met Toasty.
I've met Toasty.
Yeah, she's
very fluffy.
Yeah, she sat on my. Oh wait, at my dad's or mum's.
Your dad's.
Yeah, that's Toasty. Yeah, she's like 17, 18. She used to sleep on my bed every single night, and she's seen everything.
So
all the partying, debauchery.
Where does she sleep on your bed?
Just at the end. She doesn't anymore.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah, she'd sit on the end.
Because mine, and this is going to be a problem after I come out of hospital. Mine sleep here, or basics. He's heavy.
Yeah.
And if I turn over,
fires the cat. You're just like, woo, like you're doing a wrestling move.
So I can't turn over. I train myself to sleep like this. You know. 20 years of sleeping like that. I'd find it very difficult sleeping like that. I think I'd find it very tough.
I've got Wilbur does the same, where he comes in, stands on your chest, paws like that, right into your face. And you're like, what's up? And then he'll put his head in your armpit.
Cat?
Yeah, I love Simon's cat.
Amazing.
And but it's just like spooning, and sometimes like you do some weird things with your cat. No, he cuddles me, and then got a little paw on the chest, and it's just a really like a little furry little cuddle. And I've had issues in past where my girlfriend's like, "You like the cat more than me, don't you?" No, I'm cuddling the cat, and why aren't you cuddling me? Because it's a cat. And
well, the cat can't communicate. The cat has no words, so you have to give the cat that little more attention.
And you know,
you have words.
Yeah, you have words.
You can do words. I can still talk to you.
Yeah, and it was just I just love cats, dogs, everything.
Me
like
too.
Simon's cat.
Me
It's
too.
just it's the elegance.
I would love stickins. Actually, I did as a child. I love all creatures. You know, I think they're. Did I tell you about the bear experience?
No.
I was on an Albanian mountainside.
I mean, I tell you, every time you're like, let me just tell you this little story, and then it starts with the most strange thing. I was on this Albanian mountainside. I was directing opera. You know.
Yeah, well, you know, it's true. It's true. Well, you're going to say, you know, when I have my nappies changed, but you can do it too.
Yeah, I know.
You can do it too. So you can't be all high and mighty. Well, you can be high and mighty. You're significantly higher than me. Oh, taller than me.
Higher than you? What do you mean there?
I do hate people who say, "Hi, Tim." I think I've not taken anything, and I'm not in an aeroplane. Why are you saying, "Hi, Tim"? You know, it's just not. You would never say that to me, would you?
Hello, Timothy.
Hello. No, never Timothy. Never twice. Never twice. The only time anybody calls me Timothy is in the Greek church, and then I hope they call me Timotheos. Timotheos. I find that rather pleasant. I don't mind Timotheos, but Timothy, I always think that's a sort of, it's a rebuke, because that's what my mother used to call me when she wanted to be sort of stern.
Timothy.
Yes. No. And my godmother was particularly bad because she had a Yorkshire accent, so that kind of booming out. Timothy!
I just think of the Timothy Leary. Or,
Oh my, well, yes, you. Stop it.
But anyway, so
Stop
when you were high on this mountain.
Yeah, well, yes, the bears.
The bears.
So we were taking a shortcut across a mountain from Tirana to, I think, a place called Elbasan, where the Chinese had built 2 factories. And we were going to a place where Edward Lear had drawn this view, and I was going to redraw the view as it is now, which unfortunately is a view of 2 factories, which are still there. And the factories are there because the dictator in Albania had a pact with Stalin, and then fell out with Stalin in public, lived to tell the tale, and said, okay, all right, I'm not interested in you, I'm off to the Chinese. And then there was an Albanian Sino pact. He got away with it. Enver Hoxha, extraordinary man. He's buried in a pyramid. And I think not a nice man. But anyway, I was on this mountainside. We were driving along with a man who was drinking raki at the same time.
Oh.
He was very old. And
The man of culture.
well, I don't know. Certain times on this precipitous road, he had both hands off the wheel, and on the bottle. Would you like tea? No, it's okay, thank you. Anyway, this we stopped, and there was this man on the road with a conical hat, and wearing lots of fur. And I thought, he's a goat herder. I can talk to him. So I said, stop the car. We must talk to him. And I said, no, he won't speak any known language, which is quite true. And I went up to him, and he had 2 dogs by him. And I thought, well, if you're not going to speak to you, I can speak to your dogs. And I put my hand out to the dog. He said, York! Suddenly he was capable of speaking Turkish, and pulled my hand away. They weren't dogs. They were baby bears, and they had the most extraordinary sort of mouth shape. When a bear goes, the mouth doesn't open like that. It sort of opens in a sort of. It looks like a sort of like a cabbage. It looks like Mrs. May, actually. And it's sort of a strange growl comes out. You think my hand could have gone in there, and it was about this far away. I was this far away from having my hand bitten off by a teddy bear.
Oh no! It would have been like a.
It would have been like a feast.
You would have had. You'd have had a Captain Hook.
I would have had a Captain Hook. Yes, exactly. I would have. Hello. Yeah,
Bear that in
I must
mind.
bear that in mind later on this week, in a week's
painful.
time. when I'm on the off, I could have had my hand off.
Exactly. I mean, I do question how or why you'd just be walking around the mountains with 2 bears. You know, just.
Well, I presume he found these bears in the mountain because they're very wild, and I presume he was going to sell them on to a circus or a. Could there still be bear baiting? I don't know, or bear dancing maybe.
Only in Brighton. No, I'm not sure. Maybe they're just here to attack bears. You know, no one can cross you when you have 2 bears.
They are terrifying. And I've never come across. I thought we'd have a nice conversation about how to milk a goat. And I'm now drinking goat's milk. It's extraordinary. My partner's got me drinking goat's milk.
I'm guessing
I
like
swore I
not
would
straight from the goat.
No, you see, I know how goat's milk is produced. So I looked after 100 goats on the mountainside, and I remember being shown how to milk a goat. And you pull the udder between the back legs, and then you milk away. Okay, and the problem is you've got your pail here, and you have to put your pail far enough away from the goat so that the milk goes in it, but not too close so that the other stuff goes in it. And so as this is being demonstrated to me in Greek, the goat relaxed, as goats do when they're being milked, as cows do when they're being milked, and there was a sort of relaxed contribution to the pail, and this stuff sort of poured in, and I said, but you've got that stuff in it there now. He says, And I thought, yeah, I'm not going to drink any goat's milk anymore. But I suppose,
Extra flavour?
extra flavour, protein.
Oh no! Oh come on. Better out than in.
Coprophage.
Coprophage.
Is that a technical term for eating the stuff?
Oh, for eating excrement. Wow.
Coprophage, is that coprophage? Yeah, coprophilia is where you like it.
Oh, okay. I've had enough of this. I'm getting out of here. I don't want to know what you're into or your fancy names
I'm not
for
into any
eating
of
poo,
this.
Tim.
No.
I don't want to know any fancy names you have. Coprophage, coprophilia.
There's a fancy name for everything.
Oh no.
No. There's a technical term for almost anything you can think of, and it's generally Greek. The Greeks were there first.
There are some strange names. My favourite ones, though, are when you've got something like dyslexia, which is incredibly hard to spell.
Yes, incredibly.
Or,
so why would you have a word like dyslexia to describe dyslexia? I mean,
Or
it's
lisp.
just cruel.
Lisp.
Yes.
Or the fear of long words is a remarkably long word.
What is that?
I can't remember. You'd have to look it up. But it's
It
another
must be
one where
phobia of some
it's
sort of
something, and you're like, oh come on, whoever invented that
I know
must have
that.
been
I've
rude.
come across this word. I can't remember what it is now.
You must have been having a laugh, you know. What if we made the word a long word? So then you just can't say it.
Flocky nucky nihilification.
Is that another dirty one?
No. It's what is it? It is basically making something out of nothing or something, or making a fuss about nothing. I think Jacob Rees-Mogg used it in the House of Parliament a while ago. I think just as a demonstration that he could, but I think it's a pompous word. I much prefer supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, which doesn't exist but should.
Didn't it get added to the Oxford
Well, it probably
Dictionary?
has done now. Yeah. It's not in the book. It was invented by the Sherman brothers.
Oh.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great line.
They invented another one. Do you know The Happiest Millionaire?
No.
It was one of my childhood films. So the first film I saw was Mary Poppins, and the second film I think I saw was The Happiest Millionaire. And you had Tommy Steele, he doing an Irish accent, and he sings his song, "Fortuosity, that's my byword." Isn't it a wonderful word? It doesn't
Fortuosity.
exist.
It doesn't. Just another one they made up.
Fortuosity, my happy in the skyward.
Oh,
I can smile.
yeah. Sometimes you just need a word like that. I mean, we have one which is my friends down in Brighton invented, which is a skooma. So
Skooma.
to go on a skooma is to go on an adventure, a quest, a trip, like a journey in the car.
We like a quest.
So like, let's say
I've never been on.
I've got to get in my car and go pick up some booze from the shops, go to a party. Come on, guys, jump in the car. We're going on a skooma.
Perfect.
And so for a bit, I was getting a skooma in the Zuma was an adventure in the car.
Come on, Skooma in the Zuma.
And it was just it caught on like wildfire. And I was like, "Where's it from?" They're like, "Me. I just invented it, just made it up." They actually had a game which is who can make up the weirdest terms that don't exist and slowly inseminate them into everyone else's vocabulary by saying them enough, and it really worked.
Okay.
My new one was it?
Yeah, absolutely.
My new one is I'd have to. I think I took a photo of it. It's statutory nuisance.
Statutory nuisance.
So we had a complaint letter come through about loud noise because we had a party at my uni house, and
surely not.
We've been good since then, but it was one of those things where it was like we've been here 3 days, leave it out. Anyway, it was basically saying, blah, 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 here's the legality. You know, I read it through again last night, and I was like, you know, actually, I really respect, there are young people and families and stuff, we don't want to keep them up. There's one line that just made me chuckle, and it was like, blah, 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 and playing music loud is against the law, and you can be tried or like go to court over being a statutory nuisance. And I was like, a statutory nuisance? I was like, that's such a weird thing. You know, you're a statutory nuisance.
It's wonderful.
But how did you define that? So if my neighbour keeps coming around, like, I don't know, letting his dog poo on my lawn, or he knocked over a fence, is that a statutory nuisance?
I suspect it probably is.
Is someone who always knocks on your door and annoys you, is that a statutory nuisance?
Have you had a stalker?
No.
I've had a stalker. Ooh. Yeah. And at one point I opened the door. This is years and years ago. At one point I opened the door and she was standing in the doorway. In the rain. And I opened the door and she, I was just passing. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. I had to close the door. You know, and then I closed the door. I thought maybe she's not there. Maybe she's gone away and opened the door. I'm still here.
That is very bizarre.
It was very strange.
That is statutory nuisancery.
Yeah, no. It's, and then I needed a house to live in. Mm-hmm. And she said, you could live in my garage. And I thought, well, that's an option, I suppose. And I did. And in the middle of the night, I found her leaning over my bed. That is
bizarre.
It was very strange. It was very strange.
I had a strange experience on holiday when... So we were at this place called Ibiza Rocks Hotel, and my mates were staying there, and
not someone leaning over your bed in the middle of
No, not quite that.
So relieved.
But we were back at this thing, and so I was just chatting to everyone, and someone was talking to me for quite a while, and I was like, I see what's happening here. You know, I feel like they sort of like me or something like that, and I was being polite, but I'm not very good at being like, go away, help me. And I was trying to signal my friends. I was kind of
have you not got any signals? Come on, you need.
No, I need a signal. I need a signal. But I was desperately trying to get my friends' attention. But my friends were too busy flirting with all these people, and I'm like, look, I even mentioned to the person several times the fact I had a girlfriend. Loudly proclaimed and spoke about my girlfriend.
That's just a challenge. God! No.
What my mate used to say, just because there's a goalkeeper doesn't mean you can't score. Anyway, so this person keeps talking to me, and I'm making it blatantly clear without actually saying whatever, go away. And it kept going on, and she was really nice at the end of the day, and I was being really polite. But then there was one bit where I was like, oh yeah, there's only 2 beds in this room, and there's like 4 of us, like me and my mates. What, you know, I don't know, we're going to have to find somewhere to stay. And she's like, oh, you can stay in my bed if you want. And I was like, I'm actually all right. And at this point, she stood up, stormed out, and slammed the door behind her. And her mates go, what did you say? Like, did you upset her? And I'm like, no, I literally said that I wanted to sleep in my room and not her room. And then her mates were like, oh, no, don't worry. Yeah, we all get a bit like that sometimes. And I'm like, there was me just like, I have been so nice this whole time, and she slammed the door, and I was like,
can get you into trouble, I'm afraid.
Well, it was just one of those ones where afterwards I was like, guys, did you not see me? I was like, like, help, you know, please, you know, it's a very weird situation. But I even made strange excuses like, I'm just gonna go to the toilet. She's like, can I come? I'm like, no, I'm not a, you know, sometimes girls like to go to the bathroom together. I'm not that sort of person. No, I go to the bathroom, I just, you know.
It's a private moment.
It's not really a sort of like communal place in my mind.
It's even a private moment for my cats.
Yeah, they don't want anyone following them in.
Mind you, I did have to help Hannah a little.
Yeah, my cat floor outside the litter tray.
She did a lot of that towards the end of her life. Oh gosh, it's awful. I do miss her, actually. I miss the conversations we had, the non-spoken conversation. No, there was none of that. It was just eye contact. You can do a lot. Mm-hmm. Obviously, your friends can't do anything with eye contact.
They were making eye contact with other people that weren't me.
Hey, Woody, you need some signals.
No, we got the signals now. I mean, I agree with the eye contact thing though with my cat. My cat will say all this stuff about lots of different things. Well, all this eye contact, or it's sort of like, come on, hug me now. And I had this thing where Monkey, who sadly isn't with us anymore, would come when we were on the toilet and meow, 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 open the door, then just come hang out and stuff. The weirdest thing is, after he had died, I heard him 3 separate times. Yeah. My other cat was nowhere to be seen, meowing in the same spot.
I heard Hannah after she died.
Yeah, and it's like, what? It's so bizarre. And but on top of that,
so did Bay, for that matter.
Yeah.
So we were both lying in bed, and we both heard her.
Very bizarre. A last echo.
We both sat up.
Yeah.
She's buried in my cardigan.
Oh.
The cardigan I had, I think it was the cardigan I had when I first had Annam. And I found some photographs of me back almost 20 years ago. I look so thin. But yeah, so we found her cardigan.
Oh.
And buried her in the garden.
A nice cuddle for the cardigan.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things. Yeah, climbing trees in another place. That's what I like to say.
Well, I feel she's still here, so.
Exactly.
I don't think she wanted to go. She hung on like mad, and then quietly died in her sleep. And Bay
Still
didn't
plodding around.
notice.
Oh no.
Yeah, Bay. But during that time, in her last 3 months, they both slept downstairs. And Bay looked after her, and Bay started washing her, which was extraordinary because he was so idle about washing anything. He didn't wash himself. He just expected her to do the lot, and he started washing her. Now I'm lying in bed, and he washes my beard, which is a very strange sensation. And then sort of nuzzles into my nose, and he's got these Dracula teeth, which are slightly uncomfortable. But I think okay, I'm his.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to bite from him. He's got those proper fangs.
He really does have proper fangs.
See, I was meant to have proper fangs. I'm convinced I'm a vampire who never hit puberty. These teeth are fake.
Are they really?
These flat ones, they are caps.
Are they really?
Yeah, they don't glow in a UV. No, they don't glow. All the other teeth glow in a UV light. These two don't.
So what happened?
So they are tiny little pegs underneath. Like imagine these ones,
Yes.
but like miniature, like really, really comically small underneath these two.
Extraordinary.
And I kept waiting for them to grow, and they never did. They were tiny little like triangles. And my joke was that I was a vampire, and when I hit puberty, they would go out my mouth like a saber-toothed tiger or a seal or is it a seal?
Or an elephant.
Or an elephant, yeah. Like tusks.
Let's not do that.
Oh, jeez. So, yeah, these are cats. You'd never know. Except sometimes they look a bit cleaner than the rest. Because they're a bit less old than my other manky teeth.
No, your teeth are fine.
Thank you. I've got... The top row, I could be a car salesman, you know. And the bottom row is just a bit more normal. But these ones are like the fancy teeth. Except, like, when I look at them, they're so, like, jagged. They're like a saw. There's all the little, like...
They're fine.
No, on the micro level. But my dad was like, I used to have a chip, but I think over time they just wear down until they're flat again.
Do you think so?
But they must do.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, I think I opened too many things with my teeth as a kid, you know what I mean? Like, and beers, and not beers as a kid, beers when I was old enough to responsibly handle a beverage.
There we are. Ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
Anyway, look, let's stop. And
There's probably something
thank you.
interesting
There's
in amongst the nonsenses.